Welcome to the Teapot Reads. My name's Sam. I'm the Teapot. This is the manga I am currently reading, and I am so happy to see you today. Hello, and welcome back to another seasonal manga wrap-up. If you are new here, or if this is your first wrap-up video you're seeing with me, I don't do monthly wrap-ups because I am not a quick reader. I do seasonal, so this is going to cover March, April, and the majority of May. I am filming this towards the end of May. It's not quite the ending. So if I do finish anything, it'll definitely be Sakamoto Days Volume 1, which is what I'm currently reading and really enjoying. The art is so fun. It feels like more classic art. I don't know. It feels like more classic art, but like with a modern twist to it. So I'm really enjoying it, and it is filling a similar niche to like Way of the House Husband a little bit. This is great. This is about a hitman who has retired from the hitman lifestyle and has a family and runs a little shop and is still like a hero on the side a little bit. It's cute. It's really good. But that'll probably be the only thing I finish. If I manage to finish another manga this month, it'll just show up in next season's wrap-up. Something else I want to address before we get into this video is I am using the front-facing camera on my phone. I always record on my phone. I have a camera, but it's not good for video. It's for taking photos, and it's not technically mine. I'm just borrowing it. And it only records up to like 5 minutes of footage at a time, and the audio quality is not great. So I've been using my phone for over a year now. The majority of the videos on this channel are shot on the phone, but normally I do the back-facing camera because the front-facing one like flattens everything, which I don't like and makes me kind of self-conscious when I'm editing, and I think just quality-wise it's not as good. However, I recently recorded something on the back-facing camera and I spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours doing recording, only to realize that it completely messed it up because I can't see obviously the back-facing camera when I'm filming, and I just don't have lots of time to film today, and I really wanted to film this, so front-facing camera it is. So what have I read since last time? I have done a lot. I didn't actually count. Let's see. 9, I think. 9 volumes. I don't normally read that much, but I don't know. The bug is just in me, and I've been reading some really good series. And we're gonna actually start with Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. So I, in my last wrap-up, had read Volume 1 and said I really didn't love it. It just wasn't doing a lot for me. I didn't really like the character, though I thought the introduction of Fern did a lot. And I was just gonna give it to Volume 3 to see if I could like change my mind on it. Let me tell you, I am loving it. Okay, this might be my current, not favorite, but it's in some ways like the coziest of my current series that I am reading, and I just, every time a volume comes out, I'm so excited. I have the next one pre-ordered, and then once that comes out, I'll just pre-order the next couple that are listed already. But we have volumes 2, 3, and 4, and I don't know, I think it was the introduction of Stark in Volume 2 that just really balanced out the story and the team, and I also feel like we broke a lot of character barriers with Frieren herself in Volume 2, and it just continues to progress and be so cozy and happy and such a source of joy for me. So yeah, I just finished Volume 4 like earlier this week, so I gave this one 5 stars. I was so excited. I was so excited when I got this. I was just like, it's here. They're so good. I am a huge fan of the series now. Like absolutely 100% would fully recommend it. Volume 1 was rough for me, but I definitely recommend it, especially if you're looking for a really good fantasy series. So Frieren is about the mage Frieren, who was part of this great famous party of heroes that went and destroyed the Demon King, but that was like 100 years ago, and now pretty much all of her companions have died, and she, being an elf, is still very young, and time just works differently for her. Like 100 years is not a huge period of time, and she has decided, because she sort of let go of these relationships after the journey and finds that she should have cherished them, that she is trying to relearn what it is to be a person and to connect with humans. She's also, they're on like a little quest, but It's so good. I absolutely love these. They're so cozy. They're very Ghibli, okay? They give me Ghibli vibes for some reason. And I couldn't tell you why, I don't think, except that it gives me that same like glowy feeling in my heart. And I love it. It's just, you should be reading For Your Envy on Journey's End if you are not. And this series is written by Kanehito Yamada and the art is by Tsukasa Abe. So, great. I realized I didn't say who Sakamoto Days is by. This is by Yudo Suzuki. Another favorite series that I am just always so happy to get a volume of, and probably is my current favorite series, we have Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. This is volume 13. Yeah, volume 13. This series just continues to be great. I love what they're doing with the characters at this point. I love that we're finally meeting the final school mystery. And wow, I was not expecting that. Oh my god. This series continues to balance the darkness and the humor and just the fun elements very well, and the story is just great. I love Hanako. Who doesn't love Hanako? I love it so much. Hanako and Yashiro are just, I love them. Okay. I don't want to spoil this volume because it's fairly far in the series, but Toilet Bound Hanako-kun is about Hanako, who is a ghost in a school mystery, and Yashiro, who is a normal mortal girl. This is Yashiro. They basically team up when she makes a wish and kind of becomes indebted to him. And there are just things happening with the other school mysteries that he needs her help with. And there's so much more than that. That's just the easy, quick pitch I can give you. There's also an anime. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard good things. One of the reasons I love this series so much is because it makes me feel really nostalgic and gives me that adventure and boundless energy of childhood a little bit. And it really reminds me of my favorite series, which is Noragami, which I'm actually going to talk a little bit about in a wee bit. But yeah, Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, this was the series that got me back into manga, and it continues to just be like strong and just amazing. Then we have, oh my god, I adore this series. It always makes me laugh. I think this volume was probably the weakest of the volumes so far, and that is Spy Family. This is volume 7. This is by Tetsuya Endo, and Hanako, because I keep forgetting, is by Idalro, I think is how you pronounce the name. Spy Family is about a master spy who marries a master assassin, and they adopt a telepath. Of course, they don't know about each other, and they don't know about the telepath being a telepath, and just excitement and drama and adventure. It's great. This was the weakest volume. It felt so much like a filler, which it was. I did like at the end, Yor finally seems to be having something to do. I really liked that. But the majority of the volume, I was just like, okay, you've been better in the past. But the filler volume, it looks like we're going into another arc of the story, and I'm really excited for that. This was probably the most disappointing one this season, and that was A Man and His Cat, volume 1. Maybe it was just because I wasn't prepared for it. So this is by Umi Sakurai. It's about this cat and this old man who adopts him, and the old man doesn't really have any family, and the cat has been just sitting waiting to be adopted for a very long time, and everyone thinks he's ugly, but they have like a great relationship, and it is really cute, and I actually did get a little emotional, but it was too much of a vignette for me. I really like plot-driven stories. There wasn't even enough character in this to really make me go, yeah, I want to know more. So I am actually going to be giving this to someone that was really interested in it. I was like, no, just take it. I was waiting to be able to film this before I give it away, though. I don't not recommend it. This really was just a case of not being for me, so I am definitely going to rehove it. I am trying to be a little better with manga than I am with books. If I don't like the series after volume 1, I am moving, like, I guess I should say, if I don't like the series after volume 1 and I know I'm just not interested at all, moving on immediately. And if I'm kind of interested but not sure, I'm only giving it to like volume 3 and then deciding whether to move on. Which, yeah, after volume 1, I'm just moving on. I don't need to hoard it. I will just be saying goodbye. another returning favorite. We have Way of the House Husband Volume 4. I have forced myself not to devour these volumes. They are, again, such cozy, fun, and funny reads. I am always happy when I'm reading Way of the House Husband. This is just a fun, great series. Also, in a way, I would say has some Ghibli vibes. So this is by Kosuke Uno. And we follow Tatsu, who was a legendary member of the Yakuza and who has retired and has a wife and a life and is a house husband and views his house husband tasks with such single-minded sincerity. And it's great. It's just vignettes, and there isn't an overlapping plot necessarily, which I know I just said I like plot-driven stories, but each vignette has a plot that I find compelling, and I think Tatsu is a really compelling character as well. And we do have recurring characters that do build up a sort of larger storyline that's going on. But unlike Man and His Cat, every single little piece of this story is interesting and engaging to me. I had a little bit of an issue with the art in the first 2 volumes. It has definitely smoothed itself out now, and I am really enjoying the art as well. I only read 1 volume of Sweat and Soap this season, and this is the one that in my last video I actually said I had been in the middle of, and this is volume 9. This series is by Kintetsu Yamada, and this is great. It's just a rom-com. It's about these 2 adults who, this is really their like endgame relationship, and they go through regular up and down couple things. This one was not my favorite volume. It was just okay. I do appreciate that we got to see Asako deal with past trauma of not really having friends, and we have her only friend here. But outside of that and her character development, I really didn't get a lot out of this volume. I wasn't loving it as much as I did the other volumes. Of course, the 2 of them are still adorable, and I still really liked their relationship and liked all the scenes between them. It just was on the weaker end of things. But yeah, Sweat and Soap, really recommend it if you're looking for a great rom-com, especially one that gets a little steamy, and especially one that is just mature in a lot of aspects and feels very realistic, especially if you're a young adult kind of still feeling their way out in relationships. It's great. I 100% recommend it. And the final volume I read this season was Wodakai Volume 1. This is by Fujita. This is actually a bind-up of the first 2 volumes in Japanese. So the split is here. Wah. There. I enjoyed it. Wasn't my favorite thing I read. I am gonna probably give this another 2 volumes, possibly the whole thing. I think it's only 5 or 6 volumes long, and I did find it charming enough that I did enjoy it and liked returning to it when I was reading it. This is about Momose and Nefuji, or Hirataka and Narumi. The names in this one were really hard for me because there were a lot of characters introduced at once. And they're both otaku. They're both very nerdy people. And they very much are each other's person. And they do start dating, but I think what really threw me is she, at the beginning, is like, I'm not interested in a relationship with you. And he's like, but we'd be perfect. And she's like, okay, I didn't get that. I don't know if they're seeing it as a serious relationship or if they're just like in a relationship to be in a relationship. That part was confusing for me. I liked all the characters. I loved the art. I love this art style so much. And I liked that they were nerdy. I think that's so cute. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. It just wasn't my favorite thing. If you're looking for a good rom-com though, this one's really popular, and the final volume is coming out this month or next month. So what am I going to read? Or hopefully pick up in the next 3 months. So I will be continuing on with Way of the House Husband. I absolutely love that. Whether I only read 1 volume or read 2, 3, however many are out now, I don't know, but I will definitely be continuing with it. I just love that series so much. I will also be continuing with Wodakai. I want to read at least volume 2. I might pick up more than that volume. I don't think I will unless I absolutely love volume 2. I'm totally okay with taking my time with this series. I'm sure there's more volumes of other series I'm reading coming out in the next couple months, but I didn't actually double check that when I was making my like TBR plans. But if like another volume of Hanako-kun comes out or another volume of Frieren comes out, I'll definitely be reading that as well, because I just love those and want to keep up on them. Books that I have that I really want to read. I want to finally read Girl from the Other Side Volume 3. This is going to be the third volume and possibly the final volume of the series that I read, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be continuing with it after this. It is charming and I do really like the art, but I've heard things about the ending that it wasn't super satisfying, and I'm not so gripped by the story that I feel like I have to continue it if I don't love volume 3. So this might be the final volume. You'll find out at the next wrap up, I think, because I'm definitely going to read that this season. And then I am also going to finally finish Sweat and Soap. These are volume 10 and 11. It's time to say goodbye. I'm going to be so sad putting the final ending, like turning the final pages on the series, but it's time. It's time to end it. And I'm excited at the same way that I'm sad, because it's just so good. But the ending is definitely coming, and it's going to be, I think, very satisfying. I'm just feeling like summery, and summer has so many different vibes. One of them definitely horror, the other one definitely mermaids. So Mermaid Saga, this is an older series. This is by Rumiko Takahashi. I don't know that much about it, but I am really excited for it. I think it's like a horror fantasy-esque, and I don't normally go for horror, but I really love this art style, and I fucking love mermaids. That's one thing you may not know about me. I love mermaids, I love unicorns, and I love dragons, and I love selkies. I love magical creatures. They just are my favorite thing. So Mermaid Saga Volume 1. This is a bind-up of, I don't know how many volumes it was originally, but it's quite a big bind up, so it will take me a little bit, and there's only 2 volumes, so if I read this and enjoy it, I'll definitely pick up volume 2. I think I've mentioned wanting to read this in other videos, but I think it's finally the season to do it, Witch Hat Atelier Volume 1. I think a lot of these volumes are hard to get at the moment. Hopefully I'm not going to go like feral over this series, but yes, I do really want to finally get to this. Not too sure what it's about, except that she's like a witch or training to be a witch, and the art is just stunning. Like, I don't know, I love this art. I just love this art. I think everyone loves this art. So yes, Witch Hat Atelier, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen this season. Kind of also carving into that nostalgic feeling that I've really been craving for a long time, and it's hard to chase that, but I have been a little bit. And I actually haven't done a manga reread in a very, very long time, but I'm going to do it. I want to reread the first couple volumes of Noragami. So I just pulled the first 3. If you can see here, these are my like manga stacks where I like actually store my manga, and it's 2 stacks, and the behind stack is where I keep Noragami, and so I had to pull those out. But I love these series. This is not technically the OG series that I ever read, but is definitely my first like era of reading manga. What got me into manga. This was several years ago. It's so good. I'm not caught up, which is one of the reasons I want to reread it. Another reason is I do want to continue to chase that nostalgia feeling, and there's just something so wonderful and magical about this series and all the feelings I have with it. I do have all the volumes that are out. I just am like 6 volumes behind in reading or something. So Yato is a god, and he is not really a great god. And like he charges like a yen for help. He'll grant wishes, like any wish. If you ask him to clean your house and you pay him, he'll do that. But he has like a really dark past. And he's just a great character. He's trying to be like the #1 god. And then we have Hiyori. I always forget her name. We have Hiyori, who accidentally gets hit by a cart. And she asks him to like help her because her soul keeps slipping out. Very similar to Hanako-kun. So if you like that series or like this series, you'll like the other series. They're very much like spiritual siblings, but they kind of get embroiled and become kind of partners in crime sort of situation where they're helping each other and helping other deities around them and other supernatural occurrences. And it is so good. The characters in the series are immaculate. They're perfect. So hopefully at least the first 3 volumes If I get further than that, I'm totally okay with it, but my goal is the first 3 volumes, and I'll probably read like on and off, like 1 volume of Noragami, 1 or 2 volumes of something else, something like that. That is my seasonal wrap up and my TBR for manga for the next couple months. I've been spending a lot of time in the manga section at work. I work at a bookstore, and sadly, not a lot has been catching my eye. So if you have a recommendation for me, please leave a comment down below. I do have a couple series over here that I have volume 1 and haven't started yet. I have Komi Can't Communicate, Blue Giant, Bungo Stray Dogs, Blue Flag, which I'm thinking I may never get to, Beyond the Clouds, Drifting Dragons, Goodnight Pun Pun, Full Metal Alchemist, Phantom Tales of the Night, and Blue Period. I don't think I mentioned that. I have those volumes over here to try, but I'm not super excited for any of those at the moment. Maybe Blue Period. I don't know. I haven't been seeing too many things that have been catching my eye. So yeah, please, if you have a recommendation, I would love to hear it. I really like cozy stories and I really like fantasy stories, but outside of Free Run, I haven't found like an epic fantasy type story that has appealed to me. But honestly, anything, especially if there aren't a lot of volumes out, I'm definitely interested in picking it up. Stuff with a lot of volumes really is a hard sell for me. If it has more than like 5 volumes when I'm starting it, I don't know. That being said, there are some series I'm thinking maybe Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know. So many people like it. I feel like I would like it. Fire Force for some reason is appealing, but not enough for me to be like, I should pick it up right now. I don't know. But yeah, please recommend me things. And if you liked this content and want to see more like it, definitely consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. I don't post a bunch of manga content. I'm thinking this year that'll probably stay similar, but maybe next year you'll see a lot more manga content once I kind of build up my manga library and have a little more comfortable speaking about manga and being like, yes, this is like this, and I liked this volume because, but I'm still building that up a little bit for myself. But yeah, I would definitely appreciate a subscribe if you haven't. And if you have already, thank you, thank you, thank you. It means the world to me that you are here with me, that you are watching, that you are interested at all in what I have to say. Thank you. If you are somewhere cold, I hope you're staying warm. And if you're somewhere warm, I hope you're staying comfortable. Most of all, I hope you're reading a great book. I will see you guys next time. Bye!